Hi, replayers. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, you can't comment, but you can heart. All right, so let's see. Sounds like I'm not connected to my headset. I'm going to try a little something here, see if we can get connected. Okay, I've got a new toy. Hi, Audra. I am going to see if I can wear, okay, I'm going to show it to you. Here, it'd be best if I do it this way. I am wearing these Motorola buds. There's a microphone in here on one of the sides here. Hi, Jess. So I'm going to wear this while I'm working, and I'm hoping that it does its thing, catches everybody's comments. You guys can hear me. For the lack of preparedness, I was all ready and set to go, and then my internet died. And so here we go. Here are the bowls. Oh, and here's the setup I've got for my camera. I've got a little tripod here with a little camera adjuster thing here. So hopefully this will work. And get this set up so you guys can see what's going on here. Move this around. Wow, way more unprepared than I thought I was. I apologize. It's going to be a funny angle, isn't it? I think I will move this like this. How's that? Does that seem like that's okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on Periscope on my tablet, so hopefully, and follow myself, and hopefully I can catch your comments better this way, and we'll see how we do. All right, there's a little bit of a delay there. All right, well, hopefully you guys can bear with me. I'm going to show you the tools, first of all. Oh, okay, and hopefully you can still hear me okay as I wander around the studio. All right, so first thing is the Fiskars. These are spring-loaded scissors that are a lifesaver for me because I have arthritis, and that joint right there gets really angry if I use it too much. And then I have my little detail Fiskars, also spring-loaded, which is very cool. I have my X-Acto. The thing on my neck is hopefully is my microphone so that I can wander around the studio if I forget stuff, and you can still hear me and I can still talk. So it's a Motorola earbuds, I think is what it's called. And so anyway, X-Acto knife, gotta always have X-Acto. Pin tool, so that helps pop bubbles. I have a bucket that's empty that's just for decal trash, and my daughter is yelling at me from far away, so excuse me for just a moment. I'm going to go see what she needs, and I'll be right back. Amelia, I'm doing my Periscope. I need to be quiet. No, I'm in the middle. What? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I apologize, everybody. My daughter is home with the sniffles, and it is imperative to her that she get my attention immediately. So, okay, so I'm back. Can you guys hear me all right? Is my headset still working? from the phone, but not the Motorola thing. Okay. I will, let's see, let's check and see if this thing is on. See, all this newfangled technology trying to play with here. Sounds good, yes, but hearts just sounds muffled. Okay. All right, well, let's see. Is that any better? Okay. All right, good. Well, if it, for some reason, very low volume. Okay, better now. Good. Well, I wonder if it's just automatically turning itself off. That would be inconvenient as hell, wouldn't it? Okay. We'll keep going. We'll keep giving this a try. And I appreciate you guys playing with me. That's awfully nice. Okay, so I'm going to show you kind of the rest of these decals that I have here. This is the tissue paper that is on each of the individual decal sheets, which I keep because I will print a whole bunch of these up and then cut them as I need them. So I like to keep them from sticking to each other. They really like to stick to each other if they've been in there for a long time. I decided I needed to be organized, and so I made myself some envelopes here that tell me what my decal is. And today I am mostly going to be working on the dill and the dandelion, which is these guys. Let's see. These guys right here. And that is a dill that I grew in my herb garden, in 2014, I think, and I got some really nice results, and I took pictures. I also am going to work with some dandelion today, and I have some of those cut out already, hopefully enough for my project. So these are some big ones, right? So this is a dandelion puff that my daughter brought in from my front yard, because we grow lots of really nice big dandelions here in Montana. And so I took a picture of that. And so now I can scale all of that to size on my computer with Photoshop. And I can adjust for size depending on what I need. So you can see this is the same dandelion, and very small versus larger, and then even smaller. So I use that for all kinds of different applications. The botanicals are the decals that I like to have a more antique look to them. Lisa Lapello's talking about referencing other things in our work, and for me with this botanical work, it's really about referencing sort of vintage doilies, Irish linen, things that are a little bit used and well loved. This is one of my illustrations that I drew directly into Photoshop, and it is not as burned out. So, and I'll show you what I mean. So I fire those guys at a different temperature, these botanicals, to get a more burned out, more antique feel. And these, my illustrations, I like to have feel more bold, make a stronger statement. So I don't fire them as hot. This is the same decal, same series, same pictures, fired at different temperatures. And so let's see if I move that a little closer, give you guys sort of a sense of the difference as best I can here. And you can also see they're on different glaze surfaces. One is a satin and one has more of a gloss surface. Okay, so this is the end result that I am looking for. And I print out the decals in, on this paper. Oh, this is a drawn, this is dandelion that I drew. So it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of decal paper. I get my decal paper from Bell Decal. What cone do I fire to? I fire to 04 for the darker decal. So about 1940 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I go to probably cone 01 or 1 for the higher. They can go to 6, but they're really burned out at that point, and I don't want them quite invisible. They have done that, and it's been kind of cool. But the audience seems to respond better to the visibility of the decal. So subtlety only goes so far, I'm afraid. So I'm going to move my little tablet here so I can see your questions better. Of course, try not to dump my bowls off the table. Okay, so the first thing is that I have warm water, warm-ish water here for my decals to soak in. I have water just for my sponge to keep it clean and gummy-free. And then I have my trash bucket for the bits. And the other tools of the trade are, oh, dropped one of my decals on the floor here, are a red rubber rib. These Cheryl mud tools are awesome. So I have my little red rib. I have 2 different sponges here. I'm actually using this sponge. This is a Trader Joe's sponge. And I got that tip from Justin Rothshank on his video. He did a decal video that I watched, and I thought, wow, let's see how those sponges handle being used like that all the time. So I've got those. So the first thing to do is size and decide kind of what I want to do here. If I want to do one piece or if I think multiple pieces. Generally, if I go one piece, I like to make it a kind of more of a statement. And sometimes I like to do little groupings so that I've got several of these in a row. So I look to see how that looks. Different sizes help give different effects. I actually do have 2 different versions of this picture. I've got the one with sort of this cone top, and then I've got another one. It's got kind of a blown out, it looks like the puff is just starting to come off right here. So I like to mix that up a little bit. It's the same puff, I just turned him a little bit when I took the picture. So, oh, is Corey here? Hi, Corey. I am having a hard time watching questions and interactions. I apologize, you guys, if I've missed anything. Let me pause actually for a minute, and I'm going to come around and look at my phone so I can see any questions you have. Anybody ask anything that I totally missed? So before I get started, I know I'm going to get pretty detail focused here in a minute, so just want to be sure I don't miss anything if you guys have any questions. Typically I fire to cone 6. Most of these pots have already been fired to cone 6. This clay is M340. It's a Plainsman clay. And, oh yes, Corey, thanks. So it is an alabaster satin base glaze on the inside. And then on the outside, I apply Strontium Crystal Magic. I am dipping and pouring at this point in time. I am not spraying my glazes. I use wax to give my nice clean foot ring. And I use wax to help give me a breaking point around the lip of the bowl. I'm in Montana City, Montana, which is just outside of Helena, which is where the Archie Bray Foundation is, and that's where I get my clay. They have a new clay I'm going to start working with. It's got a wider body. The outside, actually it's alabaster from Coyote. It's alabaster, satin alabaster satin from Coyote on the bottom, and Strontium Crystal Magic at the top, over the top of it. The other way around makes it a little more yellow for some reason, which goes along with that antique style I'm looking for, but maybe not. I don't want it to look stale. So when I refire these, they're going to get a little more yellow, a little more antique. As you can see, some of the clay body moves through that glaze a little bit more. They get more speckled, and they get a little more yellow. So let's see. So that's clay. That's location. For those that don't know, my name is Paige. My ceramics group, my ceramics business is ZephyrValley Ceramics or ZephyrValley Pottery. I couldn't decide which, so I grabbed both. And we are in Montana City, and it is a very windy day, and hopefully spring is here for real and not just pretending. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and dive in again. I'm going to be pretty focused here. I will try and pay attention to the comments. Hopefully my handy dandy tablet, which is just out of sight over here, will help me keep up on some of that. So, okay. So I think what I'm going to do initially here is I'm going to drop a couple of these into the water and let the backs slide off. These are slide decals, water slide decals. I get them at belldecal.com. And as I recall, it's been a while since I've ordered. I've ordered the major bulk bunch so that I can get the best price, possible price. And so the last time I ordered, they had a warning on the page saying that they did not recommend the usage for ceramics, but honestly, I've done this now for, I don't know, 3 years, something like that, and this particular style of decal. And I haven't ever had any issues. The only thing that I ever get real worried about is whether or not my toner in my laser printer has enough iron in it. And so far, so good. So those HP toners, and I even buy the off brands. So far, so good. So I'm just waiting for the slide to slide. And we'll do what we need to do here. There we go. Okay. So just to show you what that looks like. That water slide is coming right off of. And I like to give them, because they're pretty straight here, I like to give them a little bit of an angle, just to make them feel like they're moving in the wind maybe. I like to have them be as smooth and bubble free as possible, so that we're not going to burn out big old holes. And so I like to take my rib and go from the center out. Now the first time that I had any experience with decals, I took a workshop from Jen Allen, who was a resident at the Bray at the time, and I think that was in 2004 or 2005. And she was doing some commercial decals, some roses, beautiful roses, like cabbage roses on her pots. And so she was the first one I took a decal workshop with, and I learned a ton. And as you probably know, if you've seen Jen Allen's work, she really has an eye for precision. She's one of the most amazing throwers I've ever seen. She throws so fast and so perfectly. And so, anyway, then I took another workshop a few years later from Ayumi Hori and Andy Brayman. They came to the Bray and did a pretty intensive 2-week workshop to teach us how to do decals and do some of the Photoshop work. All of that was really, really helpful, the Photoshop stuff especially. Now, so I like to have that be pretty pretty flat. So you can see there's no bubbles, there's no folds. That is right there, right on there. And I think I'm gonna grab this one so you can see he's all nice and slick. If they sit in there for quite a while, they can get real, this part can fall right off and stay in the bottom, and then the water gets kind of mucky after a while, and that glue tends to want to shadow or halo around the edge of the pot, around the edge of the decal. So I try and only put in what I'm going to use. And I like also to get in here and force these guys to lay flat. What's cool about these decals is they're pretty forgiving for being stretched or cut, as long as the end result is that they're flat. And it always helps to have a sharp X-Acto. This one's not as sharp as I would like it to be. So, get in here. Get that guy down. It's rolled up a little bit right there. Like that. And so obviously flat pieces have sometimes a hard time going convex or concave. And so I get in here. Oh, making that ring. Okay. Oh, gotta watch that guy right there. Make sure. I also I kind of like to force these around curves and edges. So you can see I've got that in the foot ring there. Make sure it's nice and flat and well adhered. And I'll come back and I'll trim this so that it just meets the top there. All right. Okay, and I kind of feel like I want something more like right here, a little taller, maybe in the back. On the side. It's the neat thing about this, you can layer these over the top of each other and they melt right into the surface. And that decal paper just burns away. So I'm going to give that a minute to set up. So that's kind of the essential process, and then it's just a matter of making the composition work for the entire piece. Or if I just want to do something that presents from the front, which I do occasionally do. Sometimes I'll just do one decal, just make it a really simple statement, real clean. And I think that's it for process. Again, I got these guys in here soaking. Get that in there to keep it wet. So, do you guys have any questions? Anything that you see that I'm doing that you have a question about? The X-Acto is just an awesome tool. These Fiskars, like I said, sometimes you have to get into these little details and cut them so that they're, so that they lay flat and get in there and go where you want them to go. You can see on this one, I put in some pretty strong throwing lines. So you got to get those to lay down. Same thing here. You get that all flattened in there so it doesn't burn out. And yeah. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and go. I'm going to get these bowls knocked out today, I think, and see if we can't get these in the kiln and fired and out the door. So that's the goal. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me. And I hope that you learned something. If you have any questions, you can always email me at zephyr.valley@hotmail.com, or you can tag me on Facebook. I'm ZephyrValley Pottery or ZephyrValley Ceramics. I'm one or the other, actually. I'm both. Tumblr, same thing, ZephyrValley. Instagram, ZephyrValley. Thank you very much, Audra. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to respond. I'll be doing another one of these in a little while. Just to do the computer part, I am still going to get that done, so we won't worry about timing. You guys don't mind if things are done out of order, do ya? Thanks, Corey. Hey, Judy. And we'll see you guys maybe in a little while. I'll show you some end results, some end product here, maybe a little bit later today after I get these all done. So you guys have a great day. My curly girl and I are going to knock these bad boys out. We'll talk to you later. Take care.